Welcome to Dogs Info. When you are truly upset with them? Most owners assume that a blank stare or a wagging tail means their dog isn't taking the scolding seriously. But that is a massive mistake. The truth is, canine body language is overflowing with hidden apologies that we completely overlook. If you stay angry because you think your dog doesn't care, you might be rejecting their desperate attempts to make peace. Today, we are revealing the 10 hidden signals your dog uses to say, "I am sorry." We will explore the fascinating science behind every gesture. Pay close attention to number 10 as it is the most misunderstood behavior of all. Number 1, the art of avoidance. The averted gaze. Let us begin with a deeply ingrained biological signal that a vast majority of dog owners interpret completely backward: the averted gaze. Picture this highly common household scenario. You walk into the kitchen, discover your dog has raided the trash can, and you raise your voice to scold them for the mess. What do? They sit down. Their body stiffens slightly, and they deliberately turn their head away from you, completely refusing to make direct eye contact. Your immediate human reaction is likely a spike in frustration. You might think, "Look at that stubborn attitude. They know they did something wrong, and now they are just ignoring me out of spite." But you must stop for a second and look at this interaction through the highly complex lens of a pack animal. In the wild animal kingdom, particularly among wolves and feral dogs, staring a pack member directly in the eyes during a moment of high emotional tension is absolutely not a sign of active, respectful listening. It is a terrifying declaration of war. A hard, unblinking stare is a direct social challenge and a clear precursor to physical conflict. When your domestic dog intentionally looks away, turns their snout to the side, or stubbornly refuses to meet your angry gaze, they are actively trying to diffuse a ticking bomb. They are utilizing a brilliant psychological tool that renowned canine behaviorists categorize as a calming signal. They are actively telling their own nervous system and desperately trying to tell yours, "I recognize your absolute authority in this house. I am not a threat to you, and I absolutely do not want to engage in a fight." And if your dog avoids your gaze while you are visibly upset, they are screaming for a truce in the only language their evolution allows them to speak. Demanding that they look you in the eye while you yell is forcing them into a confrontational, aggressive stance that their biology is desperately trying to avoid. Number 2, proximity maintenance, the orbiting effect. Now, let us examine a deeply fascinating behavior that often immediately follows the averted gaze. We can call this psychological phenomenon proximity maintenance or the orbiting effect. Have you ever noticed that after a highly tense moment, your dog does not necessarily come running right up to you for a cuddle, but they also refuse to leave the room entirely? Instead, they pace slowly around the outer perimeter of the living room. Or they lie down facing away from you, resting just safely out of arm's reach. Maybe they settle quietly right on the threshold of the doorway, keeping one eye on you. Many frustrated owners think, if my dog was really sorry for what they did, they would come over and put their head in my lap to apologize. But, by thinking this way, you are completely missing the beautiful nuance of canine pack dynamics. Dogs are intensely biologically social creatures. Throughout history, their very survival depended entirely on staying integrated with the group. Being ostracized or banished from the pack literally means death in the wild. If a dog actively chooses to stay in the exact same room as a potential threat, which is exactly what you are when you are radiating angry energy, that is a highly deliberate, calculated, and loving choice. They know you are deeply upset, but their biological instinct to remain a part of the family completely overrides their fear of your anger. By staying within your physical orbit without demanding immediate forced physical interaction, they are carefully testing the emotional waters. They are silently telling you, "I am not leaving this pack. I am giving you the physical space you need to calm down, but I am waiting patiently right here until you are ready to accept me back." It is a beautiful passive apology. If you walk into a room and they quietly shadow you, settling at a safe, respectful distance, do not ignore that effort. Acknowledge them softly. They are actively trying to repair the fractured bond without forcing a dangerous confrontation. Number 3, the biological reset, yawning and lip licking. Let us move to one of the most incredibly subtle, yet physiologically revealing signals your dog will ever give you. When you are reprimanding your dog, you suddenly see them let out a massive exaggerated yawn or rapidly flick their pink tongue out to lick their nose and lips. If you do not understand the intricacies of canine body language, you might be highly offended by this. You might think, am I boring you? Are you seriously yawning while I am in the middle of scolding you? Science tells us a completely different, highly empathetic story. In the world of animal ethology, these are known as displacement behaviors. When a dog feels a sudden massive spike in stress and anxiety, the cortisol levels in their bloodstream shoot through the roof. They experience an intense internal conflict. Their flight instinct tells them to run away from the scary loud human, but their profound love and loyalty tell them to stay near their beloved owner. This intense emotional and psychological friction has to go somewhere. So, the nervous system displaces the trapped energy into an out-of-context physical action like a sudden yawn or a rapid lip smack. Furthermore, these specific actions serve a vital biological purpose. A deep exaggerated yawn draws a massive cooling amount of oxygen into the bloodstream, which actually helps physically lower a dog's racing heart rate and naturally calm their hyperactive nervous system. Similarly, rapid lip licking is an ancient appeasement gesture derived directly from early puppyhood. Originally meant to signal total submissiveness and harmlessness to larger adult dogs. When your dog yawns while you are angry, they are absolutely not bored. They are experiencing a mild internal panic attack and their physical body is involuntarily trying to self-soothe while desperately signaling to you that they mean absolutely no harm. Number 4, the emotional barometer, the low sweeping wag. You must pay incredibly close attention to your dog's tail the next time you enter a room after a sharp disagreement. A dog's tail is their ultimate emotional barometer, but it is heavily, tragically misunderstood by the general public. The greatest, most persistent myth in the entire dog world is that a wagging tail always means a happy, friendly dog. It absolutely does not. A wagging tail simply means a dog's central nervous system is emotionally aroused, highly stimulated, or engaged. It is the specific physical position, the height, and the speed of the tail that tell the true, accurate story. If your dog slowly approaches you with their tail held very low, perhaps tucked slightly between their hind legs, and wagging in a slow, wide, sweeping motion, you are witnessing a highly specific diplomatic signal. In canine language, a high, stiff, rapid wag indicates high arousal, extreme alertness, or even potential aggression. A relaxed, mid-level circular wag indicates genuine happiness and contentment. But that low, slow, sweeping wag, that is a profound physical question mark. They are literally biologically asking for your permission to enter your personal space again. It is a brilliant pacifying gesture explicitly designed to break the thick ice and carefully assess your current mood. If they walk slowly toward you with this low wag, their spine curves slightly into a submissive C shape, they are holding their breath, waiting for a response. If you offer a soft, forgiving word or lower your physical posture, you have answered yes. If you remain stiff, angry, and silent, they will likely retreat in sadness. That slow sweeping wag is their ancient way of asking, are we friends again? Am I safe to approach you now? Number 5. The apology paw, lifting a front limb. Here is a deeply poignant, often overlooked behavior that dogs use specifically when they feel they have crossed a line and want to make immediate amends. You are standing there visibly frustrated, and your dog sits down in front of you. Suddenly, they lift one of their front paws a few inches off the ground and hold it there frozen in midair while looking at you with soft eyes. Many owners assume the dog has something stuck in their foot or wants to shake hands for a treat. But in the context of tension, this is the classic apology paw. This behavior is deeply rooted in ancestral hunting and pack communication. While you often see pointers or sporting breeds lift a paw when they spot prey, all domestic dogs utilize the raised paw as a profound calming signal and a gesture of appeasement. By lifting one limb off the ground, the dog is physically throwing themselves off balance. They are deliberately putting themselves at a tactical disadvantage to prove that they have zero intention of lunging, attacking, or fleeing. It is the canine equivalent of raising your hands in the air and saying, "I surrender. I don't want any trouble." The raised paw halts their forward momentum completely. It is a physical pause button on the conflict. They are acknowledging your authority in the situation and silently pleading for the anger to stop. When your dog offers you that hovering, trembling paw, they are offering you a white flag of surrender. Acknowledging this by softening your tone is the quickest way to assure them that their apology has been accepted. Number 6. Re-establishing contact, the submissive nudge. Have you ever been sitting on the living room couch, still simmering with silent frustration over a shoe your dog chewed up, and suddenly you feel a cold wet nose very gently bump against your hanging hand or your thigh? This is known as the submissive nudge, and it is a monumental, beautiful olive branch in the dog world. This is vastly different from the hard, demanding, annoying nudge a dog uses when they are bossing you around to throw a tennis ball or begging for a piece of your dinner. The apology nudge is excruciatingly slow, incredibly gentle, and almost always accompanied by completely flattened ears and a respectfully lowered head. Dogs explore their entire universe and establish their deepest social bonds through the power of physical touch and scent. When there is a psychological rift in the pack hierarchy, prolonged physical separation feels deeply, agonizingly unnatural to their biology. By gently booping your hand with their soft nose, they are conducting a highly tactical, polite test of your emotional boundaries. They are physically asking, "Are you still angry enough to reject my touch?" It is a humble request for physical and emotional reconciliation. Scientifically, the very act of touching your skin releases a small comforting burst of oxytocin, the bonding hormone in their brain, which actively helps lower their circulating stress levels. It is their physical, undeniable way of saying, "I desperately need to know that you are still mine, and that I am still yours." Number 7. Deep pressure therapy, the heavy lean. Sometimes, when you are absolutely furious, emotionally dysregulated, or deeply upset, a dog will not just sit near you or offer a tiny nudge. They will walk right up to you, and literally press their entire heavy body weight against your legs. They might lean their entire flank against your shins, or if you are sitting down, they will place their heavy chin squarely onto your knee, staring up at you with large, soft, remorseful eyes. As human occupational therapists well know, deep pressure therapy is a highly effective, scientifically proven way to calm a dysregulated, anxious nervous system in humans. It turns out that domestic dogs discovered this biological life hack thousands of years before we did. This beautiful behavior is called physical imposition, or simply the lean. It is absolutely not them trying to rudely assert dominance, claim your space, or push you around, which is another horribly outdated, debunked myth that needs to be permanently retired from dog training. It is an act of supreme deep trust, and a highly direct physical form of apology. In a natural pack environment, wolves and wild dogs will sleep tightly huddled together, pressing their bodies heavily against one another for shared warmth, security, and pack cohesion. By leaning their dead physical weight against you, your dog is literally anchoring their nervous system to yours. They are offering their warm physical presence to help stabilize your chaotic mood while simultaneously drawing vital comfort from your familiar presence. It is the canine equivalent of a tight, grounding, inescapable bear hug designed to squeeze the anger right out of the room. Number 8. The stress shake-off, resetting the energy. This is a fascinating biological response that happens right at the precise moment the heavy tension finally breaks. You have finished scolding your dog. You let out a long sigh and your posture relaxes. Immediately, your dog stands up and shakes their entire body vigorously from the tip of their nose to the end of their tail, exactly as if they had just stepped out of a freezing river and are trying to dry off. You might look at them and think, "Are you seriously shaking me off like I don't matter? Did you not hear a word I just said?" You are completely misreading a brilliant physiological coping mechanism. The shake-off is an essential tool in canine psychology used specifically to physically discharge trapped adrenaline and reset their internal emotional state. During the tense moments while you were upset, your dog's body was flooded with stress chemicals, their muscles were locked tight, and their breathing was shallow. Once they sense that your anger has subsided and the threat level has returned to zero, they use that vigorous full body shake to literally throw off the negative energy. It acts as a biological reset button for their central nervous system. In the context of an apology, the shake-off is your dog's way of saying, "Wow, that was incredibly stressful for both of us. Let's physically shake off that bad interaction, leave the negativity in the past, and start fresh right now." It is the ultimate sign that they have processed the conflict, accepted the resolution, and are ready to be your happy, relaxed best friend once again. Number 9. The whale eye and soft blinking. When attempting to apologize and diffuse your anger, your dog will utilize incredibly subtle facial micro-expressions to show their complete submission. One of the most prominent is the combination of the whale eye and exaggerated soft blinking. When you are upset, you might notice your dog turn their head slightly away from you, but they keep their eyes locked on your face, revealing a crescent of white sclera around their iris. This is commonly known as whale eye. While whale eye can sometimes indicate fear or resource guarding in a highly stressed dog in the context of an apology, it is combined with a lowered head and slow, heavy blinks. In the predator world, a hard, unblinking stare is the mark of a hunter preparing to strike. It is aggressive and terrifying. By deliberately slowing down their blink rate and closing their eyes for a second longer than normal, your dog is actively breaking that predatory stare. They are making themselves visually vulnerable. The slow blink is the universal mammalian sign for "I come in peace." It is a visual white flag. They are showing you the whites of their eyes while refusing to face you head-on, proving that they are not challenging your authority. They are using their facial muscles to beg for your forgiveness, hoping that their soft, non-threatening expression will encourage you to soften your own angry features in return. Number 10. The belly flop, the ultimate misunderstanding. And finally, we arrive at the absolute climax of canine appeasement. This is the behavior that causes the most tragic confusion, immense frustration, and sometimes even long-term behavioral damage: the fully exposed belly. You catch your dog chewing on an expensive rug. You step forward, point your finger sharply, and use your loudest, sternest, bad dog voice. Immediately, your dog drops like a stone to the floor, rolls entirely onto their back, tucks their tail tightly against their stomach, and completely exposes their soft belly to you. Warning: this is where the vast majority of human beings get it entirely, dangerously wrong. Because we are so deeply conditioned by pop culture to think that a dog on its back always wants a fun belly rub, we completely misinterpret the gravity of the context. When a dog is relaxed on the living room couch, and lazily rolls over with their legs splayed outward, and their tongue lolling out, yes, that is a happy invitation for affection. But when a dog drops rapidly to their back during or immediately after a harsh reprimand, it means something completely biologically different. The vital, life-sustaining organs are entirely exposed. The soft throat is fully vulnerable. The dog has put themselves in a physical position where they cannot run away, and cannot possibly defend themselves from an attack. This is active, extreme, desperate submission. The dog's biology is screaming, "I completely surrender to you. Look at me. I am entirely defenseless. I am absolutely not a threat to your dominance. Please, I beg you, do not hurt me." If you reach down and vigorously rub their belly in that terrifying moment, or infinitely worse, if you continue to stand tall over them and aggressively scold them while they are trapped in this vulnerable position, you are violating a sacred canine peace treaty. You are invading their personal space when they are terrified and actively begging for your mercy. Some sensitive dogs pushed to the absolute brink of fear in this submissive state may even involuntarily urinate, a condition known as submissive urination, or they might snap defensively out of pure panic because they feel cornered and trapped by a predator. You might think, "He's just manipulating me by acting cute to get out of trouble." Absolutely not. They are showing you pure, raw, biological vulnerability. And from their terrified perspective, standing over them and continuing to yell is taking cruel advantage of their surrender. The only correct humane response to an exposed belly during a conflict is to immediately step back. Give them physical breathing room. Avert your own gaze slightly to remove the social pressure. Take a deep, audible breath to relax your own rigid body posture. And speak to them in a soft, calm, forgiving voice. Let their brain decide when they feel emotionally safe enough to roll back over and approach you on their own 4 feet. Respecting that physical boundary is the absolute greatest reassurance and forgiveness you can possibly offer them. Dogs are not spiteful creatures. They absolutely do not hold complex malicious grudges, and they certainly do not plot revenge when you leave the house to go to work. They are incredibly, profoundly, emotionally intelligent animals that have spent tens of thousands of years evolving alongside humanity. They have learned to expertly read our facial micro-expressions, interpret the shifting tones of our voices, and even smell the microscopic chemical changes in our sweat when we are stressed or furious. Every single time your dog actively chooses to stay in the room instead of fleeing in terror, every averted gaze, every raised apology paw, and every soft, gentle nudge after a moment of thick tension, they are actively choosing connection over conflict. They are working emotional overtime to keep your family unit intact and peaceful. But true lasting communication takes two willing participants. While your brilliant dog is utilizing an entire complex dictionary of biological calming signals to apologize and de-escalate the tension in your home, we must be equally willing to learn their native language instead of constantly forcing them to understand our loud human words. Understanding canine behavior is a lifelong ongoing journey. It is a beautiful, intricate puzzle that endlessly deepens the magical bond between human and animal. When your canine best friend is trying their hardest to apologize to you, do they use deep physical contact like the heavy lean, or do they rely on subtle, quiet cues like the slow blink and the stress shake-off? I want to hear all about the emotional masterpiece of an animal sitting in your living room right now. Please drop a comment below with your beautiful dog's name and tell us the unique way they tell you, "I love you and I am so sorry." Let's decode the secret language of these incredible animals together. What if you could instantly calm your dog's anxiety without using treats, training, tools, or force? Science reveals there are 5 specific biological phrases that speak directly to your dog's nervous system. These aren't human commands. They are sensory signals hardwired into canine DNA over millions of years. One of these phrases is so powerful, it mimics the exact comforting vibration a mother dog uses with her puppies, calming nearly 80% of rescue dogs in mere seconds. If you want to make your dog feel totally unconditionally safe, you need to learn this secret language. Stick around because phrase number 5 will permanently transform the bond you share with your dog. Let's dive in. Phrase 1, the soft eye. Lean in cue. While cats use a slow blink from across the room to show trust, dogs do the exact opposite. They soften their eyes and actively move their body closer to the subject. Physical leaning is one of the deepest, most profound canine trust signals in existence. It is exactly how tiny pups check in with their mother for reassurance and how mature adult dogs show unwavering loyalty to their pack leader. Here is exactly how to use this powerful phrase. First, you must physically get down to your dog's level. Sit cross-legged on the rug, kneel down, or sit directly on the floor beside them. Dogs instantly feel vastly safer when you completely remove the intimidating height difference between you. Next, soften your gaze. Absolutely no hard staring. You want relaxed eyes with your lids at half-mast, as if you are smiling gently with your eyes alone. Now, breathe slowly and deliberately through your nose. Dogs naturally synchronize their nervous system with your breathing pattern. Slow, deep breath equals a calm, safe leader. Make a very low, warm, steady acoustic sound deep in your chest. Something incredibly simple like MHM, good boy. Or, easy now. Deliver it with a gentle rolling rise and fall, almost mimicking a quiet lullaby for dogs. Finally, lean just slightly toward them. Absolutely no more than 2 inches. You are not aggressively crowding them, and you are definitely not grabbing them. You are just gently physically inviting them into your personal space. What exactly does this do biologically? The soft eyes clearly communicate that you are a non-threat. The slow, rhythmic breathing signals calm, authoritative pack leader energy. The low-frequency vocal tone perfectly matches the comforting biological vocalizations of a mother dog in the den. The slight physical lean tells your dog, "I am right here, and you are not alone." The vast majority of dogs will respond to this by leaning their full deadweight back into you, offering a slow, loose tail wag, letting out a deep exhale, dropping their heavy head onto your leg, or sliding their body intimately closer to yours. You should actively use this specific cue before clipping their nails, during terrifying thunderstorms, when chaotic guests visit the house immediately after highly stressful situations, or absolutely any time your dog seems anxious, frantic, or unsure of their environment. Phrase 2, the low-frequency comfort rumble. Dogs obviously do not purr like cats, but they absolutely do utilize a deep, steady, highly soothing chest vibration. This is especially true of mother dogs calming their frantic litters, or confident adult dogs actively signaling to anxious subordinate pack members that everything in the environment is completely okay. Humans can easily and effectively recreate this specific biological vibration. And when you do it correctly, it completely bypasses your dog's logical thinking brain and taps straight into their ancient evolutionary instinct. Here is exactly how to execute it. Sit quietly beside your dog, absolutely not directly in front of them, and definitely not looming over them, which is highly threatening. Place one hand very gently with flat pressure on their chest or the side of their shoulder. Make a continuous low-pitched hum deep in the back of your throat. It should be soft, incredibly warm, and unbroken. The goal here is absolutely not high volume. The goal is deep physical vibration. Dogs literally feel sound waves just as much as they hear them. When your dog physically feels that low, steady rumble traveling through your hand and radiating from your chest, it perfectly mirrors the safety signals mother dogs use during nursing and early bonding. Most dogs respond to this in under 15 seconds. Their rapid breathing slows down. Their tight, anxious muscles unclench. They lean fully and heavily into your body. Their tail shifts from a stiff, nervous posture into a gentle, sweeping side-to-side wag. Some highly responsive dogs will even match your vibration with a soft, content rumble of their own. Animal behaviorists working tirelessly with deeply traumatized rescue dogs have documented truly remarkable progress utilizing this specific method. In one major rehabilitation facility in Colorado, severely fearful dogs who previously took 4 to 6 agonizing weeks to mentally decompress after intake started showing highly relaxed postures within just 5 to 7 days when volunteers used daily rumble sessions. This second phrase is exceptionally powerful for dogs suffering from severe separation anxiety, newly adopted rescues who are terrified of their new home, dogs who are deeply fearful of loud noises like fireworks, dogs recovering from physical trauma, and frail senior dogs who desperately crave stability. It is absolutely not magic. It is biology. You are utilizing a primal signal that has been hardwired into canine evolution for more than 10 million years. You have now learned the first 2 foundational phrases. Those cues will work anytime, anywhere, regardless of the situation. But the next 3 phrases work entirely differently. They connect directly with your dog's internal biological rhythms, the natural daily timing when their brain chemistry becomes most completely open to communication. Dogs absolutely do not respond to every single moment of the day equally. Just like human beings, their mental alertness, their circulating hormones, their body temperature, and their emotional sensitivity shift on a highly predictable daily pattern. And if you try to communicate intensely at the exact wrong time of day, you are actively working against their biology instead of effortlessly flowing with it. Most people completely misunderstand dogs in one massive way. They mistakenly believe that dogs are constantly, endlessly ready for high-energy interaction at all times. But in reality, dogs have what behaviorists formally call dual peak receptivity windows. These are specific biological periods where their emotional bonding circuits fire significantly more strongly, making them up to 3 times more responsive to your vocal cues and social invitations. These golden windows occur in the early morning and the early evening. Let's talk about the evening window first. Phrase 3, the twilight play invite chirps. Between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., the vast majority of dogs enter a biological state that behaviorists call alert social mode. They are fully awake, highly energetic, and desperate to bond. But they are not yet in their nighttime guarding mode or their sleep preparation mode. This specific 2-hour window is absolute gold. Your dog's dopamine levels naturally rise, their environmental attention sharpens, and their physical body prepares for active engagement. Here is exactly how to utilize this phrase. When you finally come home from work in the early evening or when your dog eagerly approaches you during these twilight hours, give 3 to 5 short, highly upbeat chirping sounds. Something like yip, yip, yip. Or rapid, high-pitched staccato syllables. Deliver it in a medium-high, happy pitch. Each individual sound should be incredibly brief, less than half a second with a half-second pause in between. Now, this may sound utterly silly to you as a human, but dogs instinctively, biologically, understand this exact acoustic rhythm. It is the identical acoustic pattern that dogs use with one another during friendly, high-energy play invitations. They are the short, quick excitement yips that clearly signal, I am energized. I am friendly, and I want you to come join me right now. Try making this exact sound at noon and your dog might just stare at you completely confused. Try it at 6 p.m. and their ears will perk up. Their tail will lift high, their entire body will wiggle, and they will trot happily toward you with that unmistakable joyful bounce. Use these specific chirps when actively greeting your dog after a long day at work, right before you grab the leash for evening walks, to quickly initiate interactive play, to effectively redirect highly anxious energy, and to create massive positive anticipation right before serving their dinner. This phrase is entirely about matching your dog's natural biological rhythm and speaking in the exact energy frequency they are already feeling. Phrase 4, the dawn reassurance whisper. In the very early morning, typically around 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., dogs experience a natural biological spike in their cortisol levels. This happens not because they are overly stressed, but because their bodies are physically waking up, actively scanning the environment, checking for any changes in their territory, and making absolutely sure that the pack, which is you, is completely safe. This is exactly why some dogs will wake their humans up early. They are not doing it for food, and they are not doing it to play. They are doing it to visually confirm pack stability. Feral dog packs out in the wild greet each and every morning with gentle nose touches, incredibly soft whines, and very slow sweeping tail wags. They use strictly quiet signals, absolutely never loud ones. Here is exactly how to use this morning phrase. When you first wake up and open your eyes, or when your dog approaches your bed in the early morning light, you must lower your voice dramatically. Speak in a near whisper that is incredibly slow and warm. Good morning. It's okay. I am right here. Use a specifically descending acoustic tone. Start the sentence slightly higher, and then let your voice softly fall in pitch. Keep all of your physical movements incredibly slow and predictable. Repeat this quiet process for 20 to 40 seconds. Why does this work so flawlessly? Loud, abrupt sounds in the morning will spike their cortisol even higher, triggering anxiety. Whispered descending acoustic tones naturally soothe the nervous system. Furthermore, your unique human scent in the bedroom is strongest in the morning. Dogs rely heavily on this dense scent profile for reassurance. Slow descending whispering perfectly mirrors the gentle, comforting whines mother dogs use to signal absolute safety to their waking puppies in the den. Animal shelters that deliberately introduced this whisper technique during their chaotic morning rounds noted a massive 35% reduction in highly anxious behaviors, such as frantic pacing, loud whining, and nervous environmental scanning. Use this specific phrase when your dog wakes you up too early, when you are on disorienting road trips, after a terrifying night of thunderstorms, or anytime your dog seems generally restless at dawn. This phrase beautifully anchors your dog's morning in security. Phrase 5, scent voice integration. Human sight and sound obviously matter, but the one sense that utterly defines your dog's entire biological world is smell. Your dog has roughly 45 times more scent receptors than you do, and they possess two entirely separate scent processing systems, including the vomeronasal organ, which actively analyzes invisible pheromones in the air. Dogs identify family members, claim territory, read moods, detect stress levels, and exactly how to use this morning phrase. When you first wake up and open your eyes, or when your dog approaches your bed in the early morning light, you must lower your voice dramatically. Speak in a near whisper that is incredibly slow and warm. Good morning. It's okay. I am right here. Use a specifically descending acoustic tone. Start the sentence slightly higher, and then let your voice softly fall in pitch. Keep all of your physical movements incredibly slow and predictable. Repeat this quiet process for 20 to 40 seconds. Why does this work so flawlessly? Loud, abrupt sounds in the morning will spike their cortisol even higher, triggering anxiety. Whispered descending acoustic tones naturally soothe the nervous system. Furthermore, your unique human scent in the bedroom is strongest in the morning. Dogs rely heavily on this dense scent profile for reassurance. Slow descending whispering perfectly mirrors the gentle, comforting whines mother dogs use to signal absolute safety to their waking puppies in the den. Animal shelters that deliberately introduced this whisper technique during their chaotic morning rounds noted a massive 35% reduction in highly anxious behaviors, such as frantic pacing, loud whining, and nervous environmental scanning. Use this specific phrase when your dog wakes you up too early, when you are on disorienting road trips, after a terrifying night of thunderstorms, or anytime your dog seems generally restless at dawn. This phrase beautifully anchors your dog's morning insecurity. Phrase 5, Scent voice integration. Human sight and sound obviously matter, but the one sense that utterly defines your dog's entire biological world is smell. Your dog has roughly 45 times more scent receptors than you do, and they possess two entirely separate scent processing systems, including the vomeronasal organ, which actively analyzes invisible pheromones in the air. Dogs identify family members, claim territory, read moods, detect stress levels, and understand emotional states entirely through complex scent profiles. Your unique human scent is not just a familiar odor to your dog. It is the literal definition of home and safety. And when you intentionally combine your vocal communication with active scent, sharing the biological bonding effect becomes exponentially stronger. Here is exactly how to use the final and undoubtedly most powerful phrase. Step 1. You must let your dog initiate the contact. Sit quietly on the floor or the couch. Relax your physical body fully because your dog can instantly smell muscle tension and stress sweat. When they finally approach and begin intensely scenting you, sniffing your hands, your clothes, or your neck, they are actively performing a biological check-in ritual. Step 2. Slowly lower your face down to their physical level. Dogs bond most deeply through shared air and shared scent zones. Move incredibly slowly to avoid startling them. Step 3. While your dog is actively sniffing, you create a soft, low, steady hum exactly like in phrase 2. The physical vibration against their body matters significantly more than the acoustic sound itself. Step 4. Gently press your forehead or your cheek directly to the side of their head or their neck. This is the crucial step. Dogs use powerful scent glands located around their ears and face to permanently mark family members. When you touch your face directly to theirs, you are actively participating in canine scent exchange. Step 5. Perfectly match their rhythm. If they nuzzle you once, touch them once. If they linger for 10 seconds, you linger. If they pull away, let them go immediately. You are absolutely not forcing affection upon them. You are sharing a deeply sacred biological ritual. What exactly does this do to their brain? Your dog actively deposits their calming pheromones onto your skin. You deposit your unique scent onto their fur. Your low hum permanently binds your scent to a highly calming auditory signal in their memory. Both of your brains release a massive wave of oxytocin simultaneously. In one incredible rehabilitation case in Ohio, a heavily traumatized dog named River, who had been completely terrified of human touch after enduring years of horrific abuse, began actively initiating face nuzzles after just 2 weeks of gentle scent voice integration. Within 6 weeks, she was confidently greeting complete strangers, a miraculous transformation her behaviorist credited largely to this specific bonding method. Use this ultimate phrase after highly stressful events, during quiet intimate bonding moments, immediately after returning home from being away, and right before introducing your dog to terrifying new environments. Whenever your dog initiates scent exchange, this is not just communication. It is pure unbroken connection at a raw biological level. How exactly does everything fit together? You should implement these phrases in this specific order. During week 1, focus entirely on the soft I lean in cue combined with the comfort rumble. During week 2, introduce the twilight chirps and the dawn whisper. From week 3 onward, fully incorporate scent voice integration whenever your dog initiates physical contact. Do not rush this process. Absolutely do not try to use all 5 phrases at once. Allow each cue to become its own distinct language. Because that is exactly what this is: not human commands, not obedience tricks, but a shared biological language. It is a profound way of telling your dog, I see you. I hear you. And you are entirely safe with me. Every single physical lean, every low hum, every quiet morning whisper, every playful twilight chirp, and every deeply shared scent moment, they are all intimate conversations. And I promise you your dog flawlessly understands every single one of them. We would absolutely love to hear about the incredible companion who shares these conversations with you. Please drop down into the comments right. Thanks for watching and like and subscribe, share please.